Oh man, lame Canada post delivery person. I was actually available during the afternoon to accept the order, so I was just waiting at home. Then I was checking the status. At first it says here, delivery standard March 6th. So apparently they delayed it by a day because it says, reason for delivery standard date change, item was received by Canada Post after the cutoff time. So I don't know how that's possible because when I was checking the status, it says it was in the depot at 4 a.m. ready to be delivered, like in the morning. So I was like, oh, too bad it got delayed, so I guess I'll get it tomorrow. I was actually still home at the time, and then the status updated. It says they basically tried to deliver. I'm like, what? It says notice left. I was like, I was still here all this time. The guy didn't even knock on the door, ring the doorbell, or anything like that. Lame. Does that commonly happen to a lot of people? That makes you want to have like some kind of video surveillance just to see. That's what they did. Like just threw it out in the mailbox or whatever. It's like, who cares? I'm not going to deliver it. I think the slip said pick up at 1 p.m. tomorrow afterwards, so anytime after. But I'm wondering if I can drop by today to see if it's there like during the evening. I thought this was kind of interesting reading this in terms of Japan planning to ban drones over certain areas. It says here, Japan plans drone ban over US military and SDF facilities, but media fears restrictions on reporting. Kind of an interesting twist to it. It says the government on Tuesday approved a bill to revise the drone regulation law to prohibit the flying of drones over US military base and self-defense forces facilities as part of its measures to prevent terrorist attacks using drones. The government plans to submit the bill to the current Diet session, but news organizations are protesting the move on the grounds it could potentially disrupt news gathering. And for the more specific details, it says the bill on the law revision stipulates a drone flight ban over within a 300-meter radius of US military and SDF facilities as designated by the defense minister. And I guess with more details about the protests, like in general, it says last month the Japan Newspaper Publishers and Editors Association, funded and operated by daily newspapers, news agencies, and broadcasters, submitted a written statement to the government arguing the revised law could substantially restrict news coverage, activities, and infringe on people's right to know. Kind of reminds me of that story I read about the US, if you guys remember. It was something to do about in the US they had issues with illegal immigrants and they were basically deporting or separating the parents from the children and they put them in, I guess, camps. And then there was a media organization, they flew a drone there illegally because it's one of those things they knew it was illegal, but they wanted to get the story and information because it's in a public interest, I guess you could say. But that is kind of interesting because it's not a topic that's talked about in many ways in terms of restricting things like drone flights. Is it people's right to fly it wherever they want to capture things like news information and all that, or no, should that be controlled completely as well? Kind of a tricky topic because I guess I could see the security reasons for it, like if you're flying over military and stuff like that, but in general I guess that is an issue as well in terms of stopping people who could potentially, I guess, get information like that, whereas now they can't because it's quote illegal. It makes me wonder for a news organization like that other story, are they going to do it anyways, like it doesn't matter? There's a point a lot of people mention too when it comes to things like quote privacy and stuff with the drones, like when people are like me just capturing it for fun, people often ask, what are you afraid that people are going to capture? Like what are you doing in general? Because for the most part, I mean, cameras are everywhere if you think about it as well. Those stories are kind of funny, like with the neighbors saying the drone shouldn't fly in near their area or something like that because of the camera privacy. How about everyone with their security cams and stuff like that? Because I could see across the block the next door neighbor. Like, do you quote shoot down those cameras as well? Interesting time to see how everything evolves, huh? That's hilarious. They're just flying the drone and all of a sudden like, what is this? Like, this RC car comes flying in and the dog's chasing it and the owners were basically making the dog chase it. But they had like this weird mad scientist laugh every time they did that. Makes me wonder, are RC cars going to have interim orders and stuff now as well? Alright, see you guys later.